Okay, thank you for braving the elements to be with us today. We had an executive session and we do not need to vote on anything following the executive session. We'll go to item 3, receive information on various boards. First is the Accommodations Tax Board. We have a slot to be filled. We have an individual that does not want to be reappointed. So let's try to get that completed next month. We have a slot for Board of Assessment of Appeals.
Mr. Chairman, on the waive rules, nominate the Lake Parker champion.
Oh, wait a minute, that's the next one down.
Oh.
That's okay. We need to fill that one on Board of Appeals. Now, Building Code Board of Appeals under adjustments.
Mr. Chairman, on the waive rules, nominate the Lake Parker champion.
I'm going to second
We
that,
have a
Mr. Chairman.
motion and a second on Mr. Champion. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, I vote affirmative. It passes on Parker. Cross anchor, Fox.
Yes, Mr.
Jim.
Chairman.
Jim.
Chairman.
Emperor.
I'd like to waive rules, nominate elect Russell Starnes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Vote affirmative and it passes. Thank you, Ms. Hopper. Employee Grievance Committee. We have a bio on Paulette Carter. Do we make a motion on Paulette Carter?
Mr. Chairman, on the waive rules, nominate the Lake Paulette Carter.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, I vote affirmative, it passes. Hobbiesville.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to do NRA next.
Okay. We got to fill Lakewood Hills.
No, NRA.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Skipped
Henry. Yeah, Henry Fire District.
Okay, I'd like to waive rules, nominate elect Sandra Corley.
Have a motion and a second on Sandra Corley. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, vote affirmative, it passes. Need to fill a spot in Lakewood Hills.
We don't have that finished.
Yes, we do receive a lot.
Who do we have?
Mr. DeMarco.
Yes, we do just receive it. So you can, if you'd like to go ahead, you can.
I thought,
Bob been working on this.
he's willing to serve again, and so what I need to do, just move it.
Waive rules, nominate elect.
All right, so explain to me again, I'm a little slow on waiving the rules and all that. Is it?
Well, we'll explain it again. That's just the way we've been doing it for everybody.
Yeah, but, I mean, if it's, do we do it on everybody?
Unless you want to wait a couple months.
Yeah.
You
Or
nominate it,
expedite.
do it again next month, and then do it again 3 months.
So there's a time limit
Yeah.
to keep you from doing it.
That's why we're waiving the
That's what
rules.
I,
Yeah.
all right, that's what I was trying to figure out exactly where we were as far as. I thought it was last month it was on there, so it meant this month you didn't have to do it, so.
No.
All right, so I move to waive the rules and
Nominate.
nominate and appoint Mr. DeMarco.
There you go. Have a motion.
Second.
And a second on Mr. DeMarco. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes. Now, Piedmont Community. Are we going to continue to carry this one over?
Mr. Librarian, I think was actually had pneumonia, but he's sent in a file.
Oh, yeah. Let's carry it over another month, I guess. Twin Lakes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to waive rules and nominate Ms. Sylvia Jean Pettit Nichols.
Have a motion on Ms. Nichols and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd also like to nominate Mr. Samuel Betzel as well.
Motion on Mr. Betzel and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes. Unified.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to waive the rules and nominate and elect Mr. James D. Deals.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on Mr. Deals. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Vote affirmative. Passes. Don't carry over Mr. Pellissier from the COG. He decided to carry over because of the weather. This will conclude this portion. I would like to say I'm glad to see Mr. Emery here today. Mike Emery had, what, 30 kidney stones it was removed from him recently? 13, okay. That's still bad. Good to have you here, Mike.
Be back.
First committee is Economic Recruitment and Development. Honorable David Britt, Chairman, Michael Brown, Roger Nutt, members. Mr. Britt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have two items before us. Do I hear a motion that we approve first reading to an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu agreement between Spartanburg County and Cabelco Construction Machinery?
So moved.
Motion is made and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We recommend full council at 5:30. Second item, we have a request for a first reading to an ordinance to amend the agreement for development for a joint county industrial park bound between Spartanburg County and Cherokee County, South Carolina, so as to include additional property in Spartanburg County as part of the joint industrial park. Do I hear a motion that we approve on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We recommend that to the council. That concludes the case, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Britt. No items under public health today. Personnel and Finance, Honorable Bob Walker, Chairman, Jeff Worth, Jane Hall, member. Mr. Walker.
Mr. Chairman, item number 1 is to receive information and take desired action in reference to a resolution authorizing a master lease agreement in the principal amount not exceeding $3,826,514 relating to the financing of equipment for public purposes, authorizing the execution and delivery of various documents and other matters relating thereto. And
Mr. Love is
you
not
gonna,
here.
are you gonna?
Yes, sir. If you'll permit me, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Members of the committee,
Mr. Hill.
we allowed Mr. Love to stay in Greenville. This is part of the 2014-15 capital budget ordinance and our capital improvements plan. In those plans, we anticipated $3.983 million, so this is $156,000 short of that. That's based on some reductions in costs that we were able to achieve. This financing includes sheriff's department vehicles, general fund vehicles, information technology components as our equipment. It's a 4-year term financing, equal payments over that 4-year term. The interest rate is 1.3. And TD Bank was a low bidder there. Very competitive, and we're happy that they've joined. This is the first lease purchase arrangement that we've been able to do with TD Bank.
And we are, though, working to get out of the lease business.
That's correct. I appreciate you mentioning that. Part of the savings or the difference between the budgeted amount and what we asked you to finance here, the $3.8 million is some savings from technology, but it's also a pay-as-you-go in our network infrastructure that we have been able to put in place.
All right. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a move that we adopt this resolution.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no, and it passes. All right, second item is receive information and take desired action in reference to victim counselor position title change. Tony Bell, our Human Resources Director, is going to share with us. Yes, sir, Tony.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, this is just going to clean up some title changes or title differences. We have a victim witness advocate and victim witness counselor, and the State Office of Victim Assistance has some issues with the title counselor because they aren't actually registered counselors. So this is just making it a title change to a senior victim advocate. and there's no money involved or anything like that. It's just cleaning up titles. And so we ask that you approve that title change.
And if I understand correctly, this goes along with the requirement of maybe a grant or something. that
Yes,
we had.
yes, it does.
So in order to get that, we need to
We need to
clean
clean
this
up those
up.
titles. Correct.
All right? Do I have a motion we approve?
Motion.
Second.
Second, motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no, it passes. Next is receive data, financial data, and personal vacancy report. Those are in your packet. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Next, we have the Livability Committee, Honorable Jane Hall, Chairman, David Britt, Michael Brown, members. Ms. Hall.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Today, we're going to receive information and take desired action related to a partnership with Partners for Active Living to support the development of a unified trail system name, branding, and logo. And Jim Campbell, Interim Director of Parks and Rec, is here to present.
Excuse me. As y'all will remember, a couple of years ago, we partnered with the City of Spartanburg, Great Lake Foundation, and other agencies to produce a trails and greenways master plan. And as I said, this was a 40-year plan. What Laura and Dad and their folks are working on right now is the first 5 years of that, which is an 18.1-mile trail system that essentially will provide linkages between the Cottonwood, Wadsworth Trail, Cottonwood Trail, Wadsworth Trail, and the rail trail. The question is, what do you call this thing which we are creating? And this request is to move some money that's already been appropriated in what I call the Trails Bank to join with Great Lake Foundation and the City of Spartanburg to secure a consultant to help us out with that. And so this would be a $4 million of money that's already been appropriated.
All right, do we have any questions from the committee? Does anyone have?
Madam Chair, I'm not on your committee, but can I ask just a couple of quick questions?
Sure.
You said this 4,000 was in what you call kind of the trail bank.
Yes.
Is that money that's coming from the parks millage? Is that correct? Or is that
No,
from?
this is actually coming from hospitality tax.
Okay. Okay. All right.
All right. If there's no other discussion, I ask for a motion to endorse the partnership and authorize requesting.
So moved.
funding.
Second.
All right, have a motion and second. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed, it passes, and we'll send this on to full council. Thank you.
If I may, could I offer you all an opportunity also? Laura Rigo tells me that she's had an opportunity to take the Green Lake Foundation Board and also some officials from the City of Spartanburg out on a tour of what this trail will look like when it's done. And so if y'all are interested in that, we'd like to offer you that opportunity. Just call Debbie and we'll set something up for you.
Okay, we'll discuss this and get this set up. Laura and I talked last week, the weather just hasn't been right since, so, or the timing for us to do that, we'll definitely do it.
When do you think the rail trail will be done, or the trail will be done?
What Laura and Deb had put together is a 5-year plan for the various segments to be put together. The county and city have a portion of the funding of that, but it's going to require a large private sector infusion to make it a reality. And that's one reason, in fact, for coming up with a name and a brand for the trail, so that Laura can go out and seek a naming sponsor for the trail system.
Now, this $4,000 encompasses hiring someone that has the branding ability to come up with that, correct? Okay.
Thanks for the map too, Laura. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Do you see any reason for these people to stay at our full meeting? So you'll be dismissed. And that's all we have.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Next, we have Public Safety and Judiciary, Michael Brown, Chairman, Roger Nutt, Bob Walker, members. Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have 4 principal items coming before the committee. The first is to receive information and take desired action in reference to a request from the Spartanburg Elite Track and Field Team to solicit funds for motorists on Saturday, February 21st, 2015, March 14, 2015, and April 11, 2015, between the hours 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. to collect funds at the entrance to Beechwood Center Drive between McDonald's and Sports Academy, and on the other side of Warren H. Abernathy Highway between the Taco Bell and Applebee's. And Mr. George McCarroll Jr., who is the head coach and president of Spartanburg League Track and Field Team, is here to present. Glad you can make it. I know it's a little while, sir.
Good evening, Council. I'm George McCarroll. I'm the president and head coach of Spartanburg League Track and Field Team. We've been in this about 29 years. Our primary function is to help offset the cost of our kids run our program. Me as the head coach and president of the organization, I can't ask a parent to pay $285 to run our program. So this is what we do to help offset the cost of our kids running our program. The beauty of our program is we also give college scholarships to our seniors. You must run for 3 years, 2 years active and 1 year your senior year. Also run our state track meet. You also must provide that you are a high school graduate, senior, with 2.5 grade point average. Provide a letter of acceptance to a college so you can get the money. We just don't give out the college scholarship money without those activities in place. I'd like to thank the council for allowing me to stay.
And the request that's coming before council is to approve the request, and I'll entertain the motion at this time.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the request.
I second.
Properly moved and second. Is there any discussion? There is none. Send this full council with a vote of aye.
Aye.
Send this full council.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Just concerning, I know we've had this discussion before, but when people are soliciting for funds out in the county, do we give them anything that shows that they're have been approved for that? Do they have?
Thank you, Councilman Nutt. We do. We provide a letter to the association letting them know and letting any who may request it that council's approved this.
Okay. Is it? I think we probably need a system where those who are soliciting the funds have that on them. If they could make copies, is that what they currently do? Okay, because I know I run into people like that all the time, and I don't know whether or not to stop and ask, you know, do you have approval from the county to do that? Because it's dangerous if you're not doing it properly and you're not all that. So I just want to. So we do have something in place, and everybody who's out on the street is supposed to have something on them specifying that they have approval. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And members of the full council, does anyone need Mr. McCarroll? Okay. Thank you, sir, for coming. Next, come before the committees, receive information and take desired action regarding a memorandum of understanding between USC Upstate and Spartanburg County 911 Division of Emergency Communication Services. Mike Flynn, our Communications Director, to present the information.
Good evening. Thank you for your time and attention to these few topics that I have tonight. The first one, the memorandum of understanding with USC Upstate. We've found ourselves to be a little weak in the area of MOUs between the agencies we dispatched in the past, so I'd like to change that to avoid any confusion on what we're to provide. We have for years dispatched the police department at USC Upstate. During a recent accreditation effort on their part, they found some deficiencies that were a little alarming. Number one, they had student employees taking emergency calls at their police department. They also, after hours, transfer their emergency phones to a duty phone that the officer carries at night. So if he's out checking a building or something, he could miss that call. And number three, they could only transfer one call at a time because that officer would be on that phone. So they obviously have a daytime population there of several thousand students. It's not a very good idea to have that system, so they asked us for help. They have some 20 emergency call boxes on their campus. Obviously, any cell phone calls we've already been getting from their campus because of the way that routing works. So we've been working with them closely over several months, and we've come up with this memorandum of understanding for us to take over their emergency calls. They figure about 30 calls per day, and they say that may result in about 20 dispatches per day. What we've found since we've been testing January the 30th until now, they're accumulating about 10 dispatches a day. It's no real load for us. We're averaging about 1,560 dispatched events per day, so the 10 really doesn't hurt us. So what we're seeking is your approval for county administration to sign MOU with USC Upstate.
All right, the request is to authorize our county administrator to enter into a memorandum of understanding. Entertain a motion for such.
Mr. Chairman, Mike, I think this is a great idea. I appreciate you stepping up and taking care of this. I want to make a motion that we authorize our administrator to enter into a MOU with Upstate.
Second.
It's probably moved to second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
We'll send this to full council.
Thank you, sir.
Michael, could I interrupt one brief second? Mike, if you would, please, for us. I think the temperature is getting pretty close, but could you, before you leave, give us a little update on the weather out there? I've got David has to go to Blacksburg, Catherine and Lisa live way down in the part of the county, and I want to make sure that everybody gets home.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Especially my ladies.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And again, Mike is at the podium. So next action is receive information, take desired action to regarding the memorandum of understanding between Charleston County and Spartanburg County 911 for the provision of standby emergency communication services.
So the most exciting part of this is the changing technology for 911. We've, for years, since 1968, worked on those copper lines for the infrastructure that the 911 system was built on. Those have presented some challenges over the years, such as the FCC mandate for phase 2 cell phone location technology. Literally was like trying to put a round peg into a square hole, or vice versa, rather. So that's not worked out well. There's a definite need to upgrade the 911 system to an internet protocol network. That term for that is EZNet, for Emergency Services IP Network. So that's what we're moving forward with, I hope. That allows us to do some pretty diverse routing policies. Currently, we cannot transfer 911 calls to anywhere except for a few PSAPs in the upstate. That limits us severely on our backup policies and procedures. And if a major event were to happen here that affected all of these PSAPs in the upstate, what this gives us the opportunity to do is to have an agreement with Charleston County or any other county in South Carolina and moving forward even into North Carolina for backup services. So this MOU is between Charleston County and Spartanburg County and would serve under the items listed in section 2 there, where we would have an evacuation of our comm center, or they may have an evacuation of theirs. We can very easily, with this new network, route calls to anywhere we need to. So we want to enter into an agreement to back up each other for purposes, usually for manning our alternate comm centers. Both agencies estimate that it would take about 20 minutes if we had to evacuate our primary dispatch center and move to our alternate comm center. Something has to happen with those calls in that 20 minutes. So under this agreement, that's what we'd do. We would take their calls, they would take our calls. It would also provide dispatch services through technology that we're also implementing so that we can talk directly to people down there over our radios and vice versa. We don't think this would cause any, especially in this situation. We would be in an emergency situation anyway. We don't think there would be any significant delays for them dispatching our units or us dispatching their units. And I'd be glad to take any questions on that.
Mike used a word that causes a heightened notion of sensitivity amongst this council, we should mandate.
I don't know what you're talking about. I got a question, Mr. Chairman. Mike, what kind of learning curve is there for us taking calls for Charleston, for instance, to know what to do? It seems like it'd be very difficult to know not only who to contact, but which way to go and
Right,
who
so-
to call and all that. How does all that
As
work?
far as answering the calls and dispatching them, it's pretty much the same anywhere you are. We know what information to get and what information to give. As far as the actual dispatching of units, and this is something that over these next 12 months before this would take place, we'll iron out the details of the operational policies between each, but what we've already discussed is to have maybe an area sergeant or a fire department over a region. For example, if we were the ones in trouble, they were taking our calls, we would have specific people for different regions, so they wouldn't be dispatching zone units. They would dispatch a sergeant or somebody over this area who would then pass it on, which is similar to the way we do business now during ice storms and stuff. We give them the details, they send somebody out to take care of it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's it. That's perfect.
Any other questions? Not, can we entertain a motion to authorize the county administrator to enter into a MOU? Memorandum of understanding.
Chairman.
Yes, sir.
And so moved.
I'll second that.
Probably move in second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
We'll send this to full council.
Thank you all.
And our last bit of information coming towards the council to receive information and take desired action in reference to the State Criminal Alien Assistance Program grant request. Major Neil Hirsch is here to send information.
Good evening, Mr. Brown, Council. The U.S. Department of Justice administers the SEAAP in conjunction with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The SEAAP provides federal payments to states and localities that incur correctional officer salary costs for incarcerated undocumented criminal aliens who have at least one felony and 2 misdemeanor convictions for violations of state or local law, and who are incarcerated for at least 4 consecutive days during the reporting period. This grant is to reimburse those past costs. We have applied for it applied and received the last 2 years, and we're asking to apply again.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
Is there any requirements that we got to do anything after this grant or with this?
No, sir, this is basically, we fill the paperwork out, send the reports to them, and they determine the cost. There is no additional cost to the county. It's more of a reimbursement for something we've already done.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And typically, since this is a grant application, it's an ongoing request that comes up annually. Madam Administrator, is there something that we want to?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we talked about how to approach grants at the county, one of the things that county council had talked with me about is making sure that before we apply for a grant, especially one that had an obligation, either a match or staffing, that you would have the opportunity to have the grant application approved before it was sent off. So that you'd be aware of it if it was awarded with the application fee. I think in this case, this particular program has a grant application, but it's really a reimbursement. And unless council has any objection, what I'd like to do, since it really is a reimbursement and not applying for a grant per se, is that in the future, if you'll allow me to work with Major Hirsch in the detention center, we would have any reimbursement that comes back to the county just reflected in the BAR as opposed to bringing it to your committee. I'm sure the major wouldn't mind doing it either way, but it just would help facilitate making sure that we get the paperwork in as soon as possible. If we could handle this reimbursement that way.
I'm agreeing with you.
Well, can I entertain a motion to approve submission of the application with the reimbursement proviso in the BAR, budget amendment resolution?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All in favor, let it be known as aye.
Aye.
So it's the full council. That's everything that's come before this committee, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Brown and Mr. Hirsch. I'm in favor, so I should give you 4. I guess the rest of them will. So I don't see a need for you to have to hang around unless you desire to. Thank you, Mr. Brown. No items under land use today. We have Public Works, Buildings and Grounds. Honorable Roger Nutt, Chairman, David Brett, Justin Bradley, members. Mr. Nutt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we have an update on the household hazardous materials and the prescription drug take-back program. Ms. Robbins, present. Thank you for being here, Ms. Robbins.
Thank you. I'll try to be quick, 'cause I know that,
Well, we got to be here at 5:30 anyway. Take your time.
all right. All right, first, I'll just do a real quick overview of Upstate Forever. Most of you know who we are, but for a couple of you new ones. We are a nonprofit. We've been around since 1998. We have offices in Greenville and Spartanburg. We've been in Spartanburg since, for 11 years now. We're right downtown. We cover the 10-county upstate region, but given that we have offices in Greenville and Spartanburg, obviously we do a lot of our work here. We have 3 program areas: a land trust, where we hold voluntary conservation easements on properties, clean air and water, and sustainable communities, and I'm in sustainable communities. I'll get down to business. I have great news and wonderful things to say today that I want to share with y'all. The prescription drug take-back program was started by the DEA, the disposal was funded by the DEA. SADAC started it here many years ago. Upstate Forever went after some grant funding, and we expanded it over the years. And we've been keeping serious metrics for the past 5 events, and we've had as many as 9 sites per event, 2 events per year. Those were set by the DEA. And over those 5 events, we collected 1,177 pounds of just pills. No bottles, not packaging, just pills. So imagine how much a handful weighs, not much. Half a ton, that's a lot. So that is not going in water, it's not available to poison children, it's not available for street sale. So that's significant, and we're really proud of that. However, the DEA changed the rules. On October 9th, the new rules, they are no longer sponsoring the disposal cost. They were hoping that retail pharmacies would pick this up. But for many reasons, including changing their DEA licensing, needing personnel, not knowing what they would be taking back, retail pharmacies are not likely to do this. So DEA created a mess. I am really proud to tell you, though, that Spartanburg County is on it. We have figured out how to solve the problem in concert with the Sheriff's Office. They have been absolutely fantastic. And Spartanburg Water has really taken the reins on this one. They're going to relaunch it in the fall as part of a larger campaign to keep toxics out of the water system. I don't know if we have anybody here from Spartanburg Water, but they've been a wonderful partner on this. So this will keep going in Spartanburg County. It might not keep going in other counties, but it's going to keep going here. And we're really pleased about that. Citizens are truly grateful for that. Sheriff's Office has been amazing. Captain Tim Metz has been fantastic. And I don't know if you know it, but your chemist, Ashley Harris, is a rock star. Also of interest is the number of partners on this project. I mean, this is how many people we've worked with on this. It's fantastic. It's a wonderful public-private nonprofit partnership, and we're really proud of it. It's working beautifully, and we're going to keep it going. So kudos on that. Household hazardous materials, more good news. The Household Hazardous Materials Collection Day continues with its 7th event on March 28th. You have a flyer. Keep that handy for your constituents who may have questions. It's open to any citizen in Spartanburg County. We continue to be the only county in the upstate that offers this program. It's fantastic. It was started in about 2008. Well, the first event was in 2009. It started in 2008 when Dr. Jim Weeks, who was a gardener, he approached Upstate Forever in the county about safe disposal of garden chemicals. We met with Mike Garrett, and he said, let's solve this problem. And an incredible team was born, featuring the county, the master gardeners, the Men's Gardening Club, League of Women Voters, Upstate Forever. Pretty much the same people continue to run this event every year. They've got it like clockwork. It's incredible. Your county staff, Ron Kirby, Jessica Swanson, Travis Brown, Tim Sherbert, fabulous. I just want to commend you, do a wonderful job. That's another thing I'd like to say is that Jess, I know, continues to work on the program, working to make it work better every year, and also where she can, less expensive. So she's working on all kinds of creative solutions there. So I just wanted to let you know that we're doing a fantastic job, and we've got incredible employees, and I thought you've been really proud to work with them. As you can see, 10 tons of solid household plastics have been collected since we started this program, and 11,000 gallons. It's, again, not going in the water, not under the sink to poison a child. And these are the folks that we work with on that, including some funding, again, from Spartanburg Water, Jan Smith Corporation, and some in-kind from the city of Spartanburg. Teamwork, fantastic. That's it. We did create a website. Again, if your citizens have questions, what do I do with something? I try to keep that up to date. SafeDisposalUpstate.org with all the latest information, where to put paint, the prescription drug take backs, household hazardous materials. I try to keep it all right there.
Thank you, Ms. Robbins. This is a fantastic service.
Well, thank you.
We do appreciate it. Any questions from Ms. Robbins?
I would ask Felicia if you would be so kind to put an extra plug about this program. I get phone calls about this during the year, and it is a very successful program, and I'm glad that we're a county that does this, but it's pretty popular. So if you could give them a little extra plug on this somehow, I appreciate it.
We'll make sure it's in the calendar.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else? Hey, Ms. Robbins, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, you've got the Public Works Department activities in your packet, and that's all we have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. All right, so this for the moment concludes our committees. And I would like, if Mike, if you could give us another little update right quick, please.
Yes, sir. Doesn't seem to be any ice on the roads at this time. We do have 4 accidents on the interstate, but that we don't know what the cause of that is. Could start to be getting icy.
Okay. And we're gonna get this thing started in about 10 minutes. Okay? So we're adjourned for about 10 minutes. Now, call the meeting to order. Earlier today, we had our committee meetings. First, I'd like to ask our invocation. We have Chaplain Amos Durham with us today, and appreciate you breaking the elements to be here again today, sir. If you would, our invocation.
That's awesome. Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for allowing us to see the beauty of another day. We know that you're God and you're the maker of all, creator of all. And we come tonight asking your guiding hand upon us yet again as we go into county council meeting. Thank you for all of our administrators and the leadership that they give, and we ask that you will continue to endow them the wisdom that only you can give to lead our county in an effective way. Thank you for county council. Thank you for the dedication that they give to their work and the service you call them to do. See that Spartanburg County is the best county in the state of South Carolina, and to uphold the law in such a way that will benefit all the citizens here in this great county. We love you, we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Durham. And again, I appreciate your dedication, sir, and thank you for being with us tonight. Roger, will you lead us in the pledge?
Salute. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Roger. Next, we go to item 3, employee recognition. I think Catherine is going to hold that over to next month. Item 2, we have presentations, resolution declaring March 11, 2015 as Spartanburg County's Prepare-a-thon and Community Tornado Drill. We have Mr. Doug Bryson here, our coordinator, to receive, and we ask that Justin read this tonight. So, Justin.
And Doug, if I could have you join me up here today. Obviously, this With the weather today, obviously this is a very fortunate time to remind our citizens to prepare for anything that may happen. A resolution designating March 11, 2015 as Spartanburg County's Prepare-a-thon and Community Tornado Drill, whereas between 1980 and 2010, the United States experienced 24 earthquakes, 392 storms, 132 floods, and in 2011, deadly weather killed more than 1,000 people across the nation, caused more than $53 billion in property damage. And in 2012, there were more than 450 weather-related fatalities and nearly 2,600 injuries. And whereas research shows that people are more prepared for disasters if they are aware of community alerts and warning systems, talk about the preparedness plan with family and others, attend trainings and meetings, and participate in a drill or exercise. And whereas the goal of Spartanburg County's Prepare-a-thon is to help Spartanburg County residents understand the risk of tornadoes and other disasters in our community, know what to do to be safe at either home, work, school, and church, take action to increase their preparedness, and participate in the statewide tornado preparedness drill. And whereas the Spartanburg County Council and Spartanburg County Office of Emergency Management join in the nationwide community-based America's Prepare-a-thon campaign for action to increase emergency preparedness and resilience for the citizens of Spartanburg County. Now therefore be it resolved that the Spartanburg County Council does hereby designate March 11, 2015 Spartanburg County's Prepare-a-thon in an effort to help increase community preparedness by outreach, education, and promotion of Spartanburg County's Prepare-a-thon campaign, which will encourage citizens to be smart, take part, prepare. Adopted the 16th day of February 2015, Spartanburg County Council adopted Jeffrey A. Horton, Chairman, and attested Catherine Ellen, Naval County Administrator. I move that we adopt this resolution.
We have a motion. Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Doug, thanks for the update, and I appreciate you being with us.
Just real briefly, we were selected as the first county in South Carolina by FEMA to participate in this, and it was an honor to do this. Received a phone call in February from FEMA Region 4 in Atlanta because of our reputation and our community involvement asking us to do this. So we're very excited and really appreciative of the support of County Council. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hard work. Folks, go to item 4. Public hearings. Open item A to consider an application for a special public event exclusion from the noise ordinance requested by Rachel Hudson from 3 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. on Saturday, February 21st, 2015 for a child's birthday party with a live band at 310 Calvary Road. Anyone here to speak on behalf of this public hearing? None seen. Close A. Open B to consider an application for special public event exclusion from the noise ordinance requested by Greer Dragway from 4 p.m. until midnight on Saturday, March 7, 2015 and Saturday, March 21, 2015 for a live band at 1792 Dragway Road, Greer. Anyone speak on behalf of this public hearing? Unseen. Close B. That includes public hearings. Earlier today, we had our committee reports. And the first committee is Economic Improvement and Development. Honorable David Brett, Chairman. Mr. Brett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee recommends to council that we render first reading to an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a fee and lieu agreement by between Spartanburg County and Cabelco Construction Machinery. I move that we approve on first reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item A, Cabelco. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, I vote affirmative, and it passes.
Next and last item, the committee recommends to full council that we render first reading to an ordinance to amend the agreement for development of a joint county industrial park by and between Spartanburg County and Cherokee County so as to include additional property in the park, including Cabelco and Torrey carbon fibers. I move that we approve on first reading.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, I vote affirmative, and it passes.
And that concludes our committee report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Brett. No items under public health today. It is now come under personnel and finance. Honorable Bob Walker, Chairman. Mr. Walker.
Mr. Chairman, our committee met earlier today, and we considered adopting a resolution to take the desired action dealing with reference to our reauthorizing the master lease agreement for principal amount not exceeding $3,826,514. And the committee voted and recommend this resolution.
We have a motion on A.
So moved.
And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, I vote affirmative, and it passes.
Committee also approved the changes to receive information, take desired action in reference to a victim counselor position title change only. We move for adoption.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on B. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes.
And we also had some updates, financial data, and personnel vacancy reports in the packet.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Next, we have livability. Honorable Jane Hall, Chairman. Ms. Hall?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we had information that we received from Jim Campbell about Partners of Active Living to support the development of a unified trail system, name, branding, and logo. It is the request of the committee that we move to endorse partnership and authorize requested funding.
Second. We have a motion and a second on item A. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I do have just a little bit of comment. I'm actually going to vote against this. I just want to make it very clear why I'm voting against this. It's not a vote against the parks system or against the trails. I think we're actually doing a very good job there. My plan is actually this spring to spend some time with family on the trail. My vote is strictly against this proposal and strictly against whether this is the best use of the funding, whether we could achieve the same goals with possibly different funding or with funding in a lesser amount to achieve the same goals of a unified system that we could market. So that really is the only reason I'm voting against this, but I did want to make that very clear.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? I vote affirmative and it passes. Anything else, Ms. Hall?
No, we're finished.
Thank you. Next, we have Public Safety and Judiciary. Honorable Michael Brown, Sheriff. Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had 4 principal items coming before the committee. First, which the committee received information in reference to a request from the Spartanburg Elite Track and Field team to solicit funds from motorists on Saturday, February 21st, 2015, March 14th, 2015, and April 11th, 2015, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. to collect funds at the entrance to Beechwood Center Drive, which is between McDonald's and Sports Academy, and on the other side of the Warren H. Abernathy Highway, which is between Taco Bell and Applebee's. The committee recommends to the council that we approve this request.
Okay, we have a motion from the committee.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes.
Next, we received information in reference to taking action regarding a memorandum of understanding between the USC Upstate and Spartanburg County 911 for the provision of emergency communication services. The committee recommends, makes a motion before full council to authorize our county administrator to enter into the MOU.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes.
Next, similar to the last one, committee received information in reference to desired action regarding the memorandum of understanding between Charleston County and Spartanburg County 911 for the provision of standby emergency communication services. The committee recommends and makes a motion to full council to authorize our county administrator to enter into the MOU.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes.
Last committee received information for the desired action in reference to State Criminal Alien Assistance Program grant request. Committee recommends to full council to approve the submission of the grant with the proviso of a reimbursement to appear in our budget amendment resolution package.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes.
Mr. Chairman, that's all the matters that come before this committee.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. No items under land use today. We do have public works. Honorable Roger Nutt, Chairman. Mr. Nutt.
Mr. Chairman, we did meet earlier today. We had an update on the household hazardous materials and prescription drug take-back program. And everybody's got that little flyer. It's a great program, and we need to get the word out. That's all we had.
Thank you, Mr. Nutt. No public comments today turned in. We'll go to item 7, old business. Render third reading to an uncodified ordinance to grant a utility easement to Broad River Electric to install 11 electrical transformer to serve facilities associated with the expansion of Automar McMillan Park.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes. Item B, render third reading to an ordinance to develop a jointly owned and operated business park, the Recon Group, known as Project Big Bend, in conjunction with Cherokee County.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes. Go to 8, new business, to consider an application for a special public event exclusion from the North Ordinance requested by Rachel T. Hudson from 3 p.m. to 11:30 on Saturday, February 21st, 2015, for a child's birthday party and live band at 310 Calvary Road.
Must be one hungry little birthday party. It's that child. It has to be called a child.
We have a motion. And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Vote affirmative, and it passes. Item B, consider an application for special public event including from the North Ordinance requested by Greer Dragway from 4 p.m. until midnight on Saturday, March 7, 2015, and Saturday, March 21st, 2015, for a live band at 1792 Dragway Road, Richmond.
I move we approve, and Mr. Britt's gonna play in the band.
Motion.
He's gonna let me sing. Second.
Second.
I'll run everybody home quickly. I can play band here.
Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes. Any other resolutions, Catherine, we need to address? Under miscellaneous, Justin, would you like to announce the new addition to Spartanburg County?
Yes, so proud to announce that on February 6th, my wife and I welcomed our son, Reagan Stevenson, into the world over at Spartanburg Regional, 7 pounds, 6 ounces, 20 inches long. Wife and baby are doing great.
Congratulations.
Second that motion.
All righty, I need a motion to approve the BAR amendments. Motion.
Second.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, vote affirmative, and it passes. Need approval of minutes of January 26, 2015. Have a motion. Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Need a motion to adjourn? Thank you very much. Get out of here.
You're on schedule.
Good.